Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of the Being Podcast. I'm your girl Jada, and welcome to this safe space that I have created for us to come together to think about how we believe, engage, innovate, navigate, and gain in every area of our lives. I hope you're doing well. I hope that things are going great for you. I hope that sickness is staying away, and I say that because it seems like that little bug just wants to keep coming around, right? But we are covered, and this too shall pass, as my mama in the good book would say. So I'm getting over some things, y'all. Staying positive through it all, understanding that I am not the only one, right? And I know a lot of times we want to get in this like, why me, Lord, why me? And then sometimes if we're able to just take a beat, take a breath, step back, and then we can ask the question, why not me? It can kind of help flip that, right? It can help your mindset in changing that around. Not that it makes it any less to go through it, right? Because if you're sick, or if you have babies and they're sick, or if you have a husband and he's sick, and you're starting to pick up all the pieces, it doesn't make that go away. But the way in which we decide to just deal with it can change. The way that we can say, hey, I do have my strength, or, for a while I was kind of lucky and the bug didn't catch me, for a little bit. And so I was like, okay, I'm the one who's able to stay well enough to take care of everyone else and make sure everything else flows, right? And then when it was my time, plus surgeries, I had my husband and even my babies. I'm like, yeah, they cut mommy's knee. And my little girl twin was like, cut knee? And she's very nurturing and very, very sweet. But I'm saying all that to say, like, then they rallied around me. So, you get what you give, right? That's what they say. Or, you give what you get. Maybe if people are pouring into you and then you want to pour that out. But that is definitely one of my purposes in being here with you, is to pour into you, to encourage you and motivate you, inspire you. And I hope I do that a little bit. So with that, and I think I talk really fast, so I'm going to try to start slowing this down a little bit. But I get really excited to be with you all, really excited just to share what's been placed on my heart or on my mind, and just grateful that y'all are here with me as we get into things. So with that, let's see. This week, I wanted to talk about what or who are you waiting on? Right? I've really been trying to dig at the heart of who I am, who you are. Like, for us to stop and just take inventory of, like, at the core of our self identity, our self worth, our little person that maybe we need to go in and say, I still see you and I have not forgotten about you. But that inner being of who we are that maybe we've let go of a little bit. I get it. And I've talked about this, whether you're a wife or a spouse or a partner, a parent, an auntie, whatever you are, we can wear all the titles. Oh, I got this degree, or I have this title at work, or whatever it is. And we take that on, right? But are we those things, or are those the things that we are capable of doing? Or we've been given that title from whatever, brought that about. But at the heart, my awesome, amazing woman, at the heart, who are you? Who am I? Who are we? And not only that, once we stop to think about that, and then we say, okay, and have I gotten so far away from who that is that I can't, or I don't want to get to who she is, or recreate that version and work towards that. But if you're able to get there and you're like, no, this is what I want it to do. Why can't I do that? Why can't I set up systems and put things in place to achieve that? Are we waiting on someone to give us permission to do that? Are we waiting for someone to say, hey, girl, I see you. I got you. Yeah, now you can do it. Are we waiting for finances to align? Are we waiting for, the perfect village to come and help support? What are we waiting on to give us that permission? And which I really think at the heart of that, it's really fear, right? And I've been there. And sometimes I'm still there and I have to work on my mindset every day as well. It's like, okay, can I really not do it? Or am I just scared to do it? And I'm using all these other things as excuses for why I'm not, right? So if we're like, well, I don't have the finances, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the support system, I mean, is that really true? Or are we just using that as scapegoats? Are we just saying, hey, I need this to happen to give myself permission to do the things that I know I'm called to do? And trust you me, I'm there with you. I've been there. I had to work through that. I had to, as much as I talk and I love to talk, I had to refine my voice because I really had to sit and say, okay, Jada, who are you? What do you want to do? Yeah, okay, great. You've got these degrees in finance. Great. You've spent time doing military training. You've done all of this, but at the heart of it, who are you? And is that what you really want to do? And I'm going to tell y'all, I just recently had a conversation with my husband, and I'm like, it's funny that I may be driven to do things that I don't have the paper for, right? And it's funny that I got my degrees in finance because when my dad's fraternity brother was mentoring me back when I was still in high school, he was like, well, get something in case you don't go to law school, which was great advice, right? And I was like, cool, I like money. And, even nonprofits have to have money. So that was my thought process in going into getting these degrees. But I didn't have a hunger for it. I didn't have a drive for it. I didn't have okay, I'm going to go make this financial career. My husband is awesome where he stovepiped his career. So he's like a subject matter expert where I never reached that because to be honest, I think at the heart of it, that's not where my passion lied. So I got the paper and yeah, I've had some jobs doing it, but that's not where my passion lied. So now that I'm like, okay, sitting with myself, and as Olivia was, I don't even know if she was one yet. And I was like, hey, I would really love to share everything I've been through with other women. I would love to be a coach. I would love to, be a liaison for people, like a conduit, and get people to their goals. Like, I know that's where my passion is. And now I'm chasing that dream. But there was a time, even in understanding that and looking at, okay, this is the end goal, I'm still sort of mapping out how I'm going to get there. But along the way, I had to find my voice, not only for myself to say, it's okay that, yep, you spent time going to universities, you spent time, having an amazing military career. You've been blessed with different job opportunities. And I don't take anything away from that because it made me who I am. But now I'm like, but this is where my passion really lies. So how do I make that work? So I have to find my voice and give myself permission to forge ahead and to undertake something that doesn't fall into those things that I've done for the past 20 years, right? So then not only that, I then had to say, okay, now I have to talk to my husband and let him know, right? Because I need him to be on board with me. And that, y'all, that drove me to therapy. Real talk. Because I had gotten to a place where I didn't know how that would be received. Because when we got together, here I am, I'm a company commander in the military and I have my civilian job and here are all my goals and this is what I want to do. And now I'm like, yeah, so I don't want to do none of that. I want to be a mom and I want to do da 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 da. And he's like, okay. So I had to find that strength and I had to find that courage to not only use my voice for myself, but to also talk to him and to present it in a way where he not only supported it, but like bought into it, right? And that's a big piece. Like you have to have, in my opinion, you have to have your support system to understand and to believe and buy in, because that's going to only help you to really achieve the things and the goals and the dreams that you have. So I did that. And then I took the courses and I've networked and I'm still doing that and getting out of my own way. And I'm saying all that to say, I got to a place, and I'll tell you, and not that I'm going to get sad on you, but when my parents were still alive, I went to them with everything, right? So it was like, okay, I have this bright idea. Okay, let me talk to my husband. Then let me talk to my daddy. Let me talk to my mama. Let me talk to my brother. Okay, let me make a decision. Even though I already knew I was going to make the decision, but I just wanted the validation. Let me know if you relate to that. But I just wanted their buy-in to feel like, yep, that makes sense. Yep, go on that course. And unfortunately, even though they're not here with me physically, it in a way has actually made me stronger, because even though I know they loved me and they supported me, I think I always went to them and that was kind of a crutch, as I've been honest with myself. So now it's like, okay, Jada, this is what you want to do. How are you going to get after it? And are you giving yourself the permission to do it? And I can absolutely say that that is where I'm at, and that is what I'm doing. And that is what I encourage you to do. And that is my challenge to you today. What is one thing that you today, as you see me, if you're watching or hear me, that you can give yourself permission today, right now? What is one thing? Let me know, okay? Because buy-in is great. Like I said last week, we're the cake, everyone else is the icing. It's great to have support, but we are okay. We are stronger than we think, and we're more capable, and we have so many talents and gifts within us that we let our mind trash get in the way and try to stop us from achieving the things that not only we know we can do, but that we are passionate to do, that we've been purposed and called to do. And so we got to get out of our own way. We have to give ourselves permissions. If you have to apologize to your inner self or your little girl self or whatever, do that and let's get moving, okay? Because we have work to do. And not just for ourselves, but for people that are watching us, people that we are teaching, our babies, for our peers who might be like, oh, wow, I wanted to do that too. And I didn't think I could. And I saw you do it. Like, or for leaders, they might be like, oh, wow, maybe I need to look at them and see how I can change. We can teach anybody. And I've said this before, like I even learned from my 6-year-old, hey, mommy, you should think about this. I'm like, you know what, baby girl, you're right. Right. But give yourself permission. Now, real quick, because I'm not going to hold you long today, some things that came to mind for me personally, and I'll go on a limb and think that it could be for you as well, is the fear of failure. Like, my parents were amazing, and I tell this to any and everybody who will listen to me, so thank you if you've gotten this far and you're listening. But they were the type of they just wanted me to aim to be excellent. Right. But that came across to me as I had to be perfect. And it did a number on me as I got older. I'm like, oh, I cannot fail. I can't fail. I can't fail. Because my parents are going to be excited about what I did great. They're going to be focused on what I didn't do so great. And so I just want to come to you, not that you're my children, you're not, you're amazing women that I definitely enjoy this space with. I just want to come to you sort of in the same way though, right? Like, talk to yourself as you talk to other people, your best friends, your babies, your sisters, whoever. We are not meant to be perfect. We're not. And it's okay if you're not. And I tell Olivia, I'm like, you just have to do your best. If you've done your best, mommy is good with that. But I had this fear of failure. And so it would pigeonhole me and make me not go forth and do things that I knew I was called to do or wanted to try, because I thought I would fail at it. So if you were going through that where you're like, oh my God, I'm going to fail, or I don't have this and this and this and this and this, don't let that stop you. Because guess what? When you don't do it, it ain't going to get done. So you know for sure it will never happen if you don't try. So at least try. And something that Jalen Hurts said that I was told this about is that, in a game, you either win or you learn. And I think that's amazing. And that's true, ladies. Like, we win, great, or we learn and we do it better the next time. We just get back up and we get better and we keep trying and we keep pushing and we will get where we want to go. Right? Me, you, all of us, we in this. So fear of failure. Go slow to go fast. Fear of failure held me up for years. And then, y'all, I got to ooh, am I going to have fear of success? Because again, before my husband kind of got on this train with me, there were times where I felt like he was putting up roadblocks. And I think it's because I did not have that voice and I did not share with him. So he would hear bits and pieces or see me do something, but didn't quite understand it because I was not sharing. So shame on me. But I was like, oh, well, if he ain't here for me and he ain't helping me, so when I'm successful, because I'm going to be successful, does he get to come along with me on my success? So then I got scared to succeed because I'm like, what if he doesn't want to come with me? We have to get rid of that too, right? So fear of failure, out of here. Fear of success, ain't got time for that. So if you're dealing with that, I truly understand. I've lived it. And hit me up because I would love to talk with you. I would love to walk you through how that looks and how you can get on the other side of that. Okay. So those are the top two things. Another thing that I deal with is paralysis by analysis. Oh my God, I got to do all the studies. I got to do all the reading. I got to keep talking, but I'm not doing the action. I'm not taking the action. I am not being disciplined. I am just out here floating and nothing is getting done. And then I'm waiting for someone to say, it's okay. Girl, no, that's on me. Get up and do something. And if you're in that same boat because fear of failure, trying to be perfect, that ain't what we're doing. Okay, so it's great to learn. It is great to learn, to get the basics, understand it, so you have a reference, right? And that's just like college or anything else, right? You get the basics, you have a reference point. Sorry, y'all. This cough, I gotta get a little water. And it's great. We have to. You have to learn somehow, some way, right? And think about how that is for you. Like, are you better at reading? Are you better at hearing? Are you better at visualizing? I have a way to work through techniques on that too, right? So hit me up if you need to understand that so that you can get to where you're going faster, right? We can work through that. Promise you. But yeah, being paralyzed because you're like, oh, I can't make a decision. We don't want to be in that position. And we don't want to be waiting for someone to give us the, okay, you can now do something. We're not doing that either. Okay. So whether you have the fear of failure, the fear of success, the paralysis by analysis, I just want you to know that you don't need any of that to succeed. You just need to bet on yourself. Okay. You just need to know what it is that you want, find someone to help you get there, have a roadmap, and execute. That's all of us. Because we all have something that we've been called to do. And I am just in that mode now at 42 where I'm like, it's time to go. It's time to enjoy this life. It's time to get after those things that are going to bring pure, just enjoyment and joy and love and freedom and just all of that. We need that now. And we don't need anyone to tell us when we can have it. So whether you are 42, 24, 60, whatever it is, however old you are listening to me, we don't have to wait for someone else to give us permission. So lady, warrior woman, yes, you. It's time to get after it. It's time to bet on yourself. It's time to give yourself permission. It's time to forgive yourself if you need. And it's time to get after your dreams. Because not only do you deserve it, but those around you deserve for you to be your best self, your happiest, your most fulfilled, because you are going to inspire them to do the same exact thing. I promise. So I'm going to drop some links in the show notes for real this week. Would love for you to reach out. I have some techniques that I've learned and I would love to share with you, from the emotional freedom technique to the neuro-linguistic programming, so you understand how you think about things, to hypnotherapy, to go deeper into understanding more of who you are and maybe why you do what you do. And all of these are just tools and things that you can use so that you can reach your end state, reach that goal that you're getting after, to know what your calling is and how you're going to get after it and get there, quick. So with that, I am going to get out of here. Thank you so much for everyone who is watching, listening, sharing. I'm super excited. In a month, I have a special guest coming on, so I am happy about that. I'll give you more details about that later. But this next week, bet on yourself. Give yourself permission. I'm telling you, give yourself permission today for one thing, to get started, to go and have, to go and enjoy, just something that you have just shoved down, pushed away, said, no, I can't do that for whatever the reason, give yourself permission to do that, all right? And we will check in next week. And until then, continue just being the best you can be. All right? I'll see y'all next week. Bye.